All right, good evening. In accordance with the open public meeting, adequate notification of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the record and posting notice in the Board of Education Administration Building and filing notice with the city clerk. I hereby call to order the regular public meeting Monday, December 19th, 2022 in the high school auditorium at 6:15 p.m. was probably, let's see, 6:17 p.m. Ms. Singh, will you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Mr. Coleman,
Present.
Mr. Goodman,
Present.
Ms. Maury,
Present.
Mr. Oates,
Present.
Mr. Powell,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Somerville,
Present.
Mr. James Vickery.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Maybe seated. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education determines it necessary to meet in executive session on Monday, December 19th, 2022, to discuss legal, personnel, student-related matters, HIB reports, negotiations, and confidential matters. And be it further resolved that these matters will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I have a motion to go into executive session? Mr. Powell, thank you. Can I have a second? Mr.
Second.
Goodman. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. It is 6:19. Thank you all, and we'll head back to our. So Ms. Singh, will you do us a roll call, please, to get us started back?
Okay, it's 7:53. We're back to public session. Roll call. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Mr. Coleman,
Present.
Mr. Goodman,
Present.
Ms. Maury,
Present.
Mr. Oates,
Present.
Mr. Powell is absent. Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Somerville,
Present.
Mr. James Vickery.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right. So we will start with our Hackensack High School chorus.
Good evening, everyone. The Hackensack Chorus has been really busy in the last week or so. The first thing we did this month was the tree lighting ceremony in downtown Hackensack. That was in the single digits of December. Second thing was winter concert. Winter concert, which was last Wednesday. Then Thursday, we went to Kessler Rehab where we were caroling for the staff and the patients. And then after lunch, we went to the Rotary Clubs of Hackensack and Maywood's annual holiday luncheon, and we sang our concert program for them. And we did a little sing-along there as well. Tonight, we're here singing for you all. And then on Thursday, we are going during the day to the hospital, and we'll be caroling there for the staff and the patients. And after that, we will all collapse. Thankfully, it will be time for the break after that. So we have two of our winter concert selections to perform for you this evening. Enjoy.
Bells on the sleigh.
Bells on the sleigh.
Jingle away.
Jingle away.
Merry clean.
Merry clean.
Winter is here.
Winter is here.
Frost on the ground.
Friends all around.
Long winter
Warm golden
nights.
lights.
Winter of fun. Sing everyone songs that we cheer for all to hear. Ring jingle bells, jingle bells, festive and bright, filled with delight. Bells are ringing, carols singing, chill in the air, joy everywhere. All around us there is winter wonder. See your feeling winter wonder. Ring jingle bells, jingle bells. Children at play, cold winter day, merry is sung from head to toe. Stars everywhere, merry is the share. Joy all around. La 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 la. Bells on the sleigh.
Bells on the sleigh.
Jingle away.
Jingle away.
Merry and clean.
Merry and clean.
Winter is here.
Winter is here.
Frost on the ground.
Friends all around.
Long winter nights.
Warm golden lights.
Winter of fun. Sing everyone songs that we cheer for all to hear. Ring jingle bells, festive and bright, filled with delight. Bells ringing and carols singing, chill in the air, joy everywhere. All around us there is winter wonder. See it here, feel winter wonder. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Children at play, cold winter day, merry sing from head to toe. Smiles everywhere, merry to shoot. Joy all around. La 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 la. Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling too. Come on, it's lovely when the first sleigh ride together with you.
Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely when the first sleigh ride together with you.
Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show. We're running in a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, it's grand. Just hold your hand.
us fall. There's a happy feeling nothing in the world can buy. Pass around the coffee and the pumpkin pie. You'll never be like a picture print, a career and ours. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our lives. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our lives. Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling too. Come on, it's lovely with a horse sleigh right together with you. Outside the snow is fun and friends are calling you. Yoo-hoo! Come on, it's lovely with a horse sleigh right together with you. Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show. We're riding in a wonderland, it's a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, it's grand. Just holding your hand. We're riding along with the song of a wintry fairyland. Our cheeks are nice and frozen, comfy, cozy and comfy. Go snuggled up together like two birds of feather be. Just like two birds of sing that roll before us and sing. Like things that roll before us and sing. Of course, it's lovely when the birds sleigh right together with you. Lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Yay! Sleigh ride.
All right, thank y'all. Great job. We're gonna have to get y'all an agent because y'all are staying busy. So Dr. Whiting and Ms. Cowman, y'all are up next. So this is with the Fairleigh Dickinson University Girls Exploring Engineering Program.
Good evening, Hackensack community. My name is Dr. Joy Dorsey Whiting, and I am the very proud principal at Hackensack Middle School.
And I am Dee Kalman, STEM educator at Hackensack Middle School. First off, happy second night of Hanukkah to all those who celebrate. 2 weeks ago, Hackensack Middle School participated in Computer Science Education Week, focusing on the need for gender diversity within the field. Currently, this growing industry has a workforce of 80% male and 20% female. We learned that when women are included, the outcome for everyone improves, and the potential of society will not be reached unless more women pursue computer science. Tonight, we're here to celebrate a program that encourages a solution to this macroeconomic issue.
And we are super excited to honor the graduates representing Hackensack Middle School from the Girls Exploring Engineering Program held at Fairleigh Dickinson University. This competitive program accepts 25 female students in grades 7 and 8 from Bergen County. Out of the 350 female students enrolled in 7th and 8th grade at HMS, 5 students were recommended based on their grades in science and STEM classes and overall positive attitude and drive to do well. I think that deserves a round of applause.
After being accepted, the female scholars attend class every Saturday at FDU for a semester, taught by college professors and graduate teaching assistants. In class, the students explore hands-on engineering and computer science workshops designed to help explore engineering careers and cultivate self-confidence and enjoyment in engineering and technology. Throughout the program, there is a focus on civil engineering, electrical engineering, and computer science.
And so tonight we are peacock proud that 5 of our scholars graduated from this very prestigious program, and we're here to share their accomplishments with our community and give each student the praise she deserves. We would like to call up each student to receive a certificate signed by our district superintendent, Mr. Sanchez, and the Board of Education President, Mr. Scott James Vickery. First up, we have two students who weren't able to join us this evening, but we would be remiss if we did not call their names and acknowledge them at this time. The first is Ivy Wang, grade 8, who could not be here with us. Please give her a round of applause. And next is Madeline Batances, who also could not be here this evening. But the highlight of this evening is that we have 3 phenomenal scholars who are joining us this evening. Jenny Naula Gonzalez, grade 8, please come forward. Next, Nelly Acevedo, grade 7. Come on down, Nelly. And last but certainly not least, Maya Allen Duffy, grade 7. Come down, Maya. And for Maya, we would like to make note that for the first time in 6 years, where Hackensack Middle School has participated in this program, Maya was our first scholar who earned an extra distinction by winning the Custom Bridge Design Award. Congratulations, Maya.
Special thanks goes to the parents and guardians for your support. We cannot wait to see where these STEMinists land in years to come. As a society, we've got more work to do, but we're putting in the effort and the future is looking bright. Congratulations again to our HMS scholars.
So now we're going to move on to our 2022 New Jersey Exemplary Educator Award, Dr. Galliana.
Thank you and good evening. First, I'd like to thank Ms. Platty and the high school chorus for doing a wonderful job as they always do. And congratulations to the girls in engineering program at the middle school. It's very valuable and we love to honor our students, but I'm here today to honor someone who inspires and works with these students and help them reach their full potential. Again, I'm Dr. Galliana. Last year as an administrator in the district and all throughout New Jersey, administrators are asked to nominate teachers who demonstrate exceptional teaching and leadership abilities, as well as are a positive impact on their students, the community, and their families. So at last year, I nominated one of our wonderful teachers, Mr. Brad Allen, who became, through the nomination, a 2022 Exemplary Educator of the Year, given by the New Jersey Department of Education. Out of all of the nominations they received, only 181 educators in all of the state of New Jersey received this award, so it is a big honor. It's a pleasure to nominate Mr. Allen, and the hardest part of the whole nomination process was to write the a recommendation because they limit the number of words. So Mr. Allen does so many things that I was like, okay, I can cut this out. But no, that's important. I'll add that. So I'm going to read the nomination, but in no way is this the only thing that Mr. Allen does to inspire our students. I had to edit. It was a lot of editing, but here it goes. Okay. It is with great pleasure and an honor to write this recommendation for Mr. Bradley Allen for the 2022 Exemplary Educator Award. Mr. Bradley Allen is the ultimate professional that goes out of his way to make sure every student in his class learns and appreciates everything about math. If you stop one of his students in the hallway and ask them about Mr. Allen, they often say he is their favorite teacher. They will tell you they always hated math, and Mr. Allen made math make sense and fun. Mr. Allen is the type of math teacher you want your child to have in the 5th grade. Mr. Allen is well respected amongst his colleagues and supports his colleagues throughout the Hackensack Public Schools. Mr. Bradley Allen goes above and beyond to make Hackensack Middle School and the Hackensack Public Schools a better place. One example is the annual Hackensack Middle School camping trip. The Hackensack Middle School camping trip has been a time-honored tradition in Hackensack for over 55 years. Mr. Allen has taken the lead as camp director for the past 15 years. The camp allows our students to experience the outdoors and bond with their classmates while learning about forest ecology, rock wall climbing, archery, boating, water ecology, and much more. The positive impact Mr. Allen has on our students' learning community cannot be measured. He is loved by his students, respected by his peers, and admired by his administrators. Respectfully submitted, Dr. Galliana. So congratulations, Mr. Allen, as a 2022 Exemplary Educator. Speech. Speech.
And next up, we want to say a thank you and not a goodbye, but we'll see you around, to our smiling board member. And his tagline is our smiling realtor, but we're going to say our smiling board member. And I'll read it. Ira came on in 2019 through 2022. This is in recognition for your dedicated service and commitment as a board member of the Hackensack Board of Education and offering invaluable leadership and support to the staff, student, parents, and citizens of Hackensack. Some have monuments of stone, some have books written about them, some attain fame on the field of battle, some are renowned for their statesmanship, some acquire greatness through commerce. All of these shall pass away. Those who serve our children live on in eternity. Their work shall never die. We appreciate you and we thank you for your commitment to our community, specifically our school community. You have done great work and we appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I say from me to you, thank you for everything. Like when I got elected to the chapter, thank you for everything.
And can I have all the board members just go down to the bottom, we'll take a picture with Ira real fast, and then Alex. Everybody. The rest of us, we're gonna take a picture with Ira. If that's okay.
So great. Love it.
It's our turn to sing. So big go. Oh, sorry. No.
Come on. Wait a second. Isn't the pants enough entertainment? Like, why do we need the flag?
Love it.
There we go. Y'all stay down here, guys. Come on down. Everybody.
All right, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Serving on the school board has been a privilege and an honor. However, I really need to focus on my real estate business at this time, which is why I decided not to seek another 3-year term. During my tenure here, I believe this board has accomplished much good for our kids. We allocated funds to make significant building improvements, including everything from boilers to lockers to a brand new field at the middle school, amazing tennis courts. Our former courts were an embarrassment. We hired our current superintendent, Mr. Robert Sanchez. We weathered the very challenging storm called COVID, making extremely tough decisions regarding virtual learning and trying to figure out how to manage in-school learning when the time was right. No matter the choice, it was very difficult for parents and families, and some of our choices were popular with at best 50% of the community. Yet as a board, we stood behind our superintendent. I am proud to have been one of the trustees that helped navigate this really challenging time. I was honored to walk across the First Street Bridge at 2 graduations, giving me quite the rush as I witnessed so much brilliance and excellence within our graduating seniors. Witnessing these seniors complete their Hackensack journey as they move on to their next adventure, whether it be community colleges, universities, trade schools, military service, or Ivy League universities, has been almost as joyful as watching our elementary school children performing in their very first opportunities on stage. The evolution to have watched has been fabulous to be a part of. I have made friendships among my trustees and administration personnel that I will maintain for the long term. Being a school board trustee is a highly responsible position, and I took every minute of it very seriously. I started my term just as my real estate business began to take off. At this time, I really can't manage both effectively. However, I intend to follow the activities of this district as it becomes even more important within the Bergen County School system. To my fellow trustees, to the administration and teachers, to all the parents and especially the students, I wish only good things for the future. May this future board be successful and accomplish greatness and make significant strides towards the betterment of our students' academic careers, and even more importantly, to their social, emotional wellness. Thank you very much for what has been a really exciting ride.
All right, so for our last presentation. So we have someone who has consistently come to our board meetings, and they will, when there's something that they need to address with us that may be a hard topic, they will, and when they need to provide encouragement to us, they do, but they consistently show up even when it's hard, when there may not be accessibility that's easy, when it may be a long walk or a long haul, and they show up with candy that encourages us every time, and with a lovely note on it. And some nights, when nights are long and hard, it's what gets us through those long meetings. So we want to say thank you to you as a board for loving us through this whole several years of those that have served, and we are thankful for you, Miss Story, and we appreciate all that you do for us. And we promise Tunde will carry that to your car, I promise. All right, thank you for your patience with those presentations. We have a couple more. Ms. Parchment and I'm not sure who else with you. Maybe it's just you. Oh, there she is. Oh. All right. Then following her will be Mr. Sanchez with our safe return plan presentation.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to first congratulate Ms. Story and all of our Girls Exploring Engineering participants. Dr. Whiting and Mrs. Kalman, you should be really proud. And to our high school chorus on their melodious renditions tonight, and to Mr. Allen on being awarded the New Jersey Exemplary Educator Award. And all the best to you, Trustee Goodman. So tonight I am going to present to you, this is another report. It's only a report of our 11th grade students who are currently seniors, and it's the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment results. So all grade 11 students last year in 2021, 2022 took this assessment. And this presentation is going to be very short. So the table of contents, we just have two sections, a district analysis and a demographic analysis. So this first slide just compares our students' performance to all the students in the state who took the NJGPA. And as you can see in the first column, it shows how many students in our district took the assessment, the ELA assessment, 447. The district, the percent of students not passing, and look at the state first, look how close we are. The state, 66% of our students, this was a new exam also. 66% of our students not passing compared to the state, 61% of students not passing. The district had 34% passing, the state 39% passing. In math, we had 456 students take the test. 71% of our students did not pass, not passing, and 50% of the state not passing. Passing, we had 29% of students passing and 50% of the state students passing. And we'll just go to the next slide. The last row just gives a combination. This slide is just what I just presented to you, but in bar graph form. The next section is a demographic analysis. And the next few slides will report on our subgroups. First by race, second by gender, and third by program. So by race and ELA, you see in the first column, it shows you the number of, and I'll just show you the pattern. I won't read every single one. I'll let you look at it. Asian population, 22 were tested, 30% not passing, 64% passing. Black, 88 tested, 68 students not passing, which is 77% not passing, 23% passing. And then Hispanic, 177 students, 68% not passing, 84 students, 32% passing. And if you look, you can see the same results for math, if you just read across. And where you see dashes means that we don't have, we have less than 10 students. And so just for privacy purposes, we don't put that number of students. And this bar graph just depicts what I just shared with you, and you can see in red the number of students not passing, in green the number of students passing by race. Then we'll move to gender. I think I'll just depict it this way. The bar graph is easier. Shows you the number of females not passing compared to those passing, and males. And I think I'll do the same for program. These are students free and reduced lunch, shows the number not passing and the number passing. 504s, English language learners, special ed, and general ed. And now, I've shared with you the last time some of the things that we are doing in terms of intervention. So really, it's the same things that I shared with you before, because it's the same subject areas. So this is our response. We have multi-tiered systems of support for ELA grades 8 through 11. The reason I put 8th grade and middle school because of the transition. So we're really trying to work on improving and starting in the 8th grade and even in the lower grades. These are some more interventions. And our teachers really, I really have to give our teachers a shout out and applause. They're working in grade level meetings. They meet in their professional learning communities. They look at data and they are trying to work together to figure out how do we enhance what our students are doing with our teaching practices. So these are some of the things that our teachers are doing. And for math, the same thing. We have intensive and strategic interventions in addition to core instruction. And I will tell you that the basic skills classes, or whatever you call them, it's not skill and drill. Our students are receiving a high level of instruction. Also, we have a new math program I shared with you the last time for Algebra 1. We know Algebra 1 is important, and this illustrative mathematics program is research-based, and it will address some of the areas where our students need further support, and that's with reasoning and modeling. And this program really addresses that. And again, it's not just a program, it's our wonderful teachers. We've done walkthroughs in the middle school and in the high school, and we are seeing some good things in the classrooms. And that's my report. Our report.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sanchez is going to do our safe return plan presentation.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's that time of year again when it's time to do the update on the Safe Return Plan. So just wanted to take a moment to go over this with you. So school districts must periodically, but no less frequently than every 6 months through 2023, review the Safe Return Plan. As you know, we continue our dialogue with the health department and monitor the state of transmission throughout the district and throughout the community, and we take all of those things into account. So this presentation is just intended to provide a summary. It's not the entire plan. The entire plan is up on our website. It was also shared with you via email, and everybody had opportunity to comment on that plan. And of course, please note that this plan is subject to change based off of trends, anything going on in the state with the Department of Health, New Jersey Department of Education, or any gubernatorial executive orders. So if you noticed, of course, the plan is much reduced as it has been in the last couple of years. So just these are the critical elements of the plan. So the first thing is has to do with the universal and correct wearing of masks. Hackensack Public Schools continues to be mask optional. As with regards to physical distancing, the district will continue to follow the guidelines of the Department of Education, Department of Health, and/or any gubernatorial executive orders. Meals, if necessary, the schools will implement layered prevention strategies to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19, again, as required by New Jersey Department of Ed, New Jersey Department of Health, and gubernatorial executive orders. Hand washing, students and staff are reminded to hand wash their hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, sanitize their hands frequently after using the restroom, blowing their nose, coughing, or sneezing. Hand sanitizing stations have been strategically placed throughout the buildings. With regards to cleaning and maintaining healthy facilities, including the improvement of ventilation, all classrooms and other occupied areas will be routinely cleaned and disinfected with EPA-registered products for use against SARS-CoV-19, and all custodian and maintenance staff is trained appropriately. HVAC equipment is regularly inspected, repaired, and replaced as required. As you all know, with the capital funds, district funds, ESIP funds, and the ESSER 2 and 3 funds, the district is beginning to install new classroom unit ventilators and upgrading other HVAC systems in all classrooms for improved ventilation and fresh air exchange, throughout the district. These projects continue to be approved on board meeting agendas throughout the year. Contact tracing is no longer really required in the way it was in the past. So to support and prioritize uninterrupted full-time in-person learning, schools may transition away from case investigation response model to a routine disease control model, according to the New Jersey Department of Health. This model focuses on more responding to clusters of cases, outbreaks, and evidence of ongoing transmission, and less on individual case investigation and contact tracing. So in lieu of individual contact tracing, the district will provide cohort notifications when exposures occur. Individuals and families can then take additional precautions based on individual needs. With regards to diagnostic and screening testing, parents and caregivers will strongly be encouraged to monitor their children for signs of illness on a daily basis, as they are on the front line for assessing illness in their children. Students who are sick should not attend schools. Schools will continually educate parents about the importance of monitoring symptoms, and keeping children home when ill. COVID testing will be made available as required by the New Jersey Department of Health recommendations. With regards to vaccinations to educators, staff, and students, if eligible, we will continue to share where vaccines are administered and seek opportunities for students and staff to be vaccinated should the need warrant it. Appropriate accommodations for students with disabilities with respect to health and safety protocols. Accommodations for children with disabilities are and will continue to be made according to their IEPs. Finally, describe how the LEA will ensure continuity of services, addressing students' academic needs and students and staff social and emotional and mental health. The district hired 3 instructional coaches for the elementary schools to support teachers in addressing learning loss, and 2 additional social workers to support students' social and emotional wellness. The district continues to offer training for educators to support student and staff mental health. The district has expanded enrichment, intramural sports, and extracurricular activities at all schools. Describe how the LEA, local education agency, sought public comment on the plan. Of course, as mentioned before, at least every 6 months, a Google form that includes a link to the plan is shared with all stakeholders to obtain public comment on any and all sections of the plan. And finally, describe how LEA ensured that the plan is an understandable and uniform format. Of course, the district has followed the suggested template provided by the New Jersey Department of Education, and the Safe Return Plan is accessible in English and Spanish on our website. Parents with disabilities will be provided with an alternative format accessible to that parent upon request. And that is it for the report. So thank you.
All right, Ash, you're up. All right, to add the cherry on top of everything today. All right, so good evening, everyone. I'm here to report on the exciting activities happening at Hackensack High School this month. Tomorrow, December 20th, our guidance department is hosting Instant Decision Day for our seniors. Nearly 20 schools are participating, offering students the opportunity to be accepted on the spot and waive their application fees, as well as instant scholarship offers. This week, our student council is hosting a Spirit Week to get our common community in the holiday spirit. The days include Twin Day, Dress Like Your Favorite Holiday Movie Character Day, and more. I wonder how many elf lookalikes we're gonna see. On Sunday, December 18th, HHS senior and a great friend of mine, Gene Petrella, was honored at the New York Jets game by the Super Football Conference as one of their Young Men of the Year. Gene was honored on the field before the game, and his name was featured on the Jumbotron. We are so proud of him. Last week, our music department hosted our annual holiday concert featuring performances from our chorus and band, as you guys saw. It was truly a magical evening. On Wednesday, December 21st, our contemporary studies classes led by Miss Harrington will be hosting coffee hour. During this time, students in contemporary studies will share their projects and research in front of their peers in the library. Finally, our winter sports season is on the way. We wish all of our winter athletes, me included, good luck this season on their ventures. Good luck. Thank you guys so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ash.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Sanchez.
Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
And next time I'm springing for the haircut.
Okay, once again, thanks, Ash, for that wonderful report. All right, so moving along. As we head into a much-deserved winter break, I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a joyous and restful holiday season, surrounded by family, friends, and loved ones. This past week, I had the pleasure of attending many of our winter concerts, and it truly was a joy to watch our students perform in front of their families and friends. We really have a talented bunch of youngsters. Exciting things that continue to occur at Hackensack Public Schools. On tonight's agenda, the Board of Education is voting to approve the architectural services for the design of this very high school auditorium and girls' locker room renovations. The auditorium renovation will provide our performing arts students with a state-of-the-art venue that is suitable to their talents and provide our school community with a venue they can be proud of. The board is also slated to award construction contracts for the long overdue renovations to the field house and fitness center at Hackensack High School. These are improvements alongside the girls' locker room renovation, track replacement that was approved at last month's meeting, and recent bleacher refurbishments will make our athletic facilities one of the shining stars in Bergen County. It's hard to believe that this month, 10 years ago, 20 students and 6 staff members lost their lives in Newtown, Connecticut, leaving their school community and entire nation devastated. This horrific event serves as a reminder that it is imperative that we do everything we can to prevent incidents like this from happening in our school community. We stay informed, we train vigilantly, and we follow the best practices shared by the New Jersey Department of Education's Office of School Preparedness and Emergency Planning regarding school safety and security. Yet, we can always use assistance in these areas. To that end, on tonight's agenda, the Board of Education is voting to approve the addition of our new school safety coordinator, who is going to help us in this endeavor, in this ever so important endeavor. Please allow me a moment to introduce Mr. Harry Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz.
Superintendent Sanchez, Board President, and members of the board and the Hackensack community, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Sanchez, tonight, as you open up with Students First, as I call it, right? It's great to hear the enjoyment and the excitement that your student liaison is presenting. And that's what brings joy with me, being part of a community that is looking to provide that health and safety environment, as Mr. Sanchez was indicating. And I'm honored to be here today, and I want to thank you for that opportunity, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. So moving on, another area of importance being addressed tonight are the contents of mathematics and business. Please allow me to introduce to you Ms. Jin Park, who appears on tonight's agenda as the new supervisor of math and business. Ms. Park, would you please come up to the microphone and introduce yourself?
Good evening. Hi, my name is Jin Park, and I am very, very grateful for this opportunity. I look forward to working with our teachers and our administrative team. And after seeing all the presentations tonight, I'm even more excited and honored to have this opportunity. So thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Park. We too look forward to working with you in the future. As I reflect upon the last few years, I recognize what an honor it has been to be your superintendent and work alongside our Board of Education, staff, students, parents, and school community at large to help every student achieve their fullest potential. Over the past couple of years, together we have faced numerous challenges, from navigating school closures, hybrid learning, and food insecurity, to the current academic, social, and emotional challenges that we have seen in the aftermath of the pandemic. The challenges are many, and we have a lot of work to do. Yet, I remain hopeful for the future. I am hopeful because as a school community, we came together when it mattered most. Why should I expect anything different in the future? Now on to the enrollment report. Our current enrollment is 5,168 students, and a total of 18 HIB investigations were completed this past month. That concludes my report. I wish you all a joyful and safe holiday and a happy new year. See you all on January 3rd.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Now we'll move on to our public comments. So if you have public comments tonight, there's a sign-in sheet. Each statement shall be made or limited to 3 minutes, please. All statements to the board, if you'll make them to me, and if there's anything that we can respond to, that will be made. The responses will be given at the end if we can do so, or I will give them at the end if we can do so. So public comments are open.
Wait. That's better. Well, I was going to talk anyway, because I'm the first one that signed in. However, with what you gave me is the most incredible thing I've ever had. I've never had anything like that. And I just wanted to wish you all, for all your work and for all your time and all your energy. And it doesn't matter which side you were on for almost anything. The fact that you give of your time and yourselves to help our school system after 41 years of teaching and 12 and a half years of still being involved. I am delighted to help you the little bit that I can, but the fact that you work so hard is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I thank Ira for all his years and hope that he does very well in his work, and wish you all a wonderful holiday. And we all deserve a much better and happier new year for 2023. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Kasim Gaines. First, I wanted to speak in my capacity as one of the vice presidents of the HEA. This is a statement from the entire executive committee. During the October Board of Education meeting, 3 of our HEA members bravely spoke about their experiences in the classroom and what they needed from administration in the district in order to best serve our students and families. At the following meeting, Superintendent Sanchez and the board attorney admonished those teachers for speaking in a move that can only be seen as an attempt to intimidate them into silence. Every school stakeholder has a right to speak their truth at these meetings. That's what they exist for. This is also true for association members. No staff member should face intimidation or fear retaliation for advocating for their students, especially after years of exhausting the chain of command and having their concerns fall on deaf ears, as those ESL teachers and world languages teachers did. On behalf of the HEA Executive Committee, we would like to remind all of our members that when you speak on behalf of our students and our profession, the rest of the association stands alongside you. We request an apology to those teachers and a clear statement from the superintendent and board that discourse at these meetings is not only acceptable, but it is invited, so we can all work together in the best interest of our students. Thank you. Now, in my personal capacity, I wanted to ask about the new construction project manager position. I got an email. That was the first I heard of this position. I don't know the salary. I didn't see a posting. I didn't hear a vote. So I'm confused as to how that's happening. I don't know what the salary was, but if there are any other high salary positions that haven't been posted that I might be eligible for, I'd like to be considered, please, if you don't mind. But I'm just curious, and I'm hoping that someone could shed some light on that. I checked the last personnel agenda, it wasn't there. I checked this personnel agenda, still not there, so don't quite understand it. I also wanted to speak quickly, coincidentally, about time to speak at meetings. We used to have more time, actually. There aren't a lot of longstanding members on the board right now, but Trustee Powell and Trustee James Vickery, at some point in time, at the beginning of your tenure on the board, there was a second public comments section. In fall of 2019, it was voted away that second time. And I think that in the spirit of trying to encourage more people to come and speak and participate and to hear from the public, I would love to see a motion to reverse that. I think that it would be a healthy thing. I just wanted to comment very quickly on, I don't have a lot of time left, but I just wanted to ask about, or make a statement about teacher turnover very briefly. The data that was shown earlier was disappointing. And I appreciate Ms. Parchman's optimism in that presentation, but it was disappointing to hear as an educator and as a stakeholder in this district. But it's not just on grade level meetings and trainings and things like that. I was talking to a parent just last week, and they mentioned that their child is going on their third math teacher for the school year this year. And the parent said, and I thought it was bad last year when they had 4 science teachers. So while there are things that can be fixed and things that can be remediated, I think that we need to do a little bit of a better job trying to figure out why it is that people are leaving the district. They aren't leaving education, they're leaving Hackensack, and what the actual impact is on our kids. The learning loss was not limited to COVID. It's extending into the in-person school year, and we need to be much more aggressive, much more aggressive. It's not just about throwing money at people. It's about looking at why people are leaving and what are the quality of life things that are contributing to that. There are lots. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olga Victor, and I am a resident of Hackensack. My children are beyond the Hackensack School District, but I am here representing close friends and families that have brought to my attention the misbehavior of some of the trustees here in this board. Let me bring up to your attention a couple of things. I've become aware that there have been some misbehaviors from the trustee Marlene Somerville. Apparently, she stormed out of a meeting because people in the meeting disagreed with her. This is unacceptable. Second of all, I understand that trustee Lance Powell screamed at the president of the board. Don't know the details of that conversation. However, I want to ask the board a question. If our children misbehave in the schools, if they disrespect our teachers, what is the consequences of that behavior? We can talk about that, right? That can be a long conversation. So what do we do when trustees misbehave? What is the consequence of misbehavior for them? Nothing? That is totally unacceptable. The last thing that I want to bring up, apparently, trustee Lance Powell has not attended to any of the board meetings, right? 0. If I can be corrected, Business Administrator Ms. Singh, maybe you can look into the attendance part of it. But as I understand, he's not attended any of the meetings, right? There's been a word mentioned in some of these meetings about, oh, we're passionate, and that's why we behave the way we do. No, that does not speak to passion. Being disrespectful, being not present to plan the future of the children in Hackensack, that is not passion. So my recommendation, or the voice that I'm presenting here of my friends and family, I would say to these two trustees, please look and see what are your passions, because it's definitely not what I understand that is here. Go and look at your passions someplace else and let the people here take care of the children of Hackensack. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pedro Del Vecchio. I'm a general ed teacher at Fairmount, and I'm here to advocate for some of my students. I've gone up the chain. My supervisors are supportive and understand the issue, as do personnel in central office. Really think it comes down to a policy issue at this point. So just a little bit of background. ESL students in our district are typically students who speak some conversational English and are therefore able to receive instruction in English. They receive support from an ESL teacher for 40 minutes a day, every day, to increase their expertise in English, but they're basically taught in English. Then we have another group of students who are bilingual students because they're not even conversational in English. In several of the schools, we have a bilingual education, we have bilingual classes. At Fairmount, and I believe at Hillers, Dr. Whiting can correct me if I'm wrong, there is no bilingual class. We know that the school's bursting at the seams. There's no place to put a bilingual class, I understand that. But I have students who have declined services. They've qualified for bilingual education and have declined that service because as brand new immigrants to our country, they don't have a car. They bought an apartment or rented an apartment in a community, not knowing which school had what services, and now they're stuck. And in my class, I do my best to accommodate the student who doesn't speak any English, but they're missing out on math instruction that they should be getting in their native language, social studies, science, music, art. The law requires that they have access to all those things. The law requires that they have access to those things in their neighborhood school. Here's the hard part, it's not like special ed, it's when possible, right? So we're in compliance because presumably it's not possible. I think it is. I think if there's the will to, we can have a bus pick them up at Hillers or Fairmount and bring them to Parker or Jackson where there is a bilingual class for them, so that these children are not slipping behind and missing all the education they could be getting if they happen to have rented an apartment in the right neighborhood. So I hope you'll consider it. Thank you.
Good evening, Donna West, HEA President, Hackensack resident, Hackensack employee. Congratulations and thank you to the Hackensack High School Choir, all of those who were recognized this evening. Mr. Goodman, thank you for your time. And Ms. Story, my forever preschool teacher, just love you still. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Sounds like everything that was mentioned tonight ties to RESPECT. Respecting the children, their families, the staff, custodians, administrative assistants, building leaders, each other, and the community. And so Cassine alluded to the fact that because we are constantly hearing from some people that Hackensack has a teacher shortage. We don't have a teacher shortage. We have a teacher retention problem, as Cassine already alluded to. Because somewhere we've lost the ability to show RESPECT. I'll show you something very simple. We have things like at Parker right now, and probably some of the elementary schools, these 10 days of joy. Wear your pajamas, that's why I don't have my HEA shirt on. wear silly socks, jean days, things like that. Things that will just, you don't understand. We are probably the easiest people to please. I mean, we get out of a staff meeting 5 minutes early. Sorry, Ms. Whitaker, I didn't mean to get you in trouble. 5 minutes early and we think we've hit the lottery. I'm telling you, it is little things that mean so much. Parent-teacher conferences, Hackensack Education Association, we're not asking for you to reimburse us, we have the money. We bought lunch for all the schools. Nothing from central office, nothing to acknowledge that we were going through parent-teacher conferences, none of those things that just say that we're not invisible, that we matter. And we just want to be respected. Because I'm telling you, we already know what teaching entails. It is not an easy job. We don't enter it for the money, trust me. But when people are choosing to leave Hackensack and go somewhere else where they are taking pay cuts, something's not adding up. I'd like to talk about safety. We're having staff members that have been assaulted by parents. I'd like to talk about the cleanliness of the buildings, and I am not trying to throw the custodians under the bus, but they are overworked and they need help. We are having an increase in pest problems, more so than I would even like to publicly speak. I'm almost done. Chromebooks, I just got a new student, I don't have a Chromebook for her. Where's the money for the Chromebooks? Because we need them. Hey Tutor, 90-something thousand dollars for a program. And the one that was coming to Parker School, she quit on day 2. So now we have the regular tutoring teachers who are now trying to pick up the Hey Tutor children. See what I'm talking about? Respect. It's too much. And that's kind of it, because I could go on. But please look into how do you look at us as individuals, treat us as individuals, and recognize that we will do anything for these children if you just tell us and show us that we matter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rodney Lane. I called in last meeting and I voiced my concerns and disappointment with the comments of the board attorney and the superintendent. So I'm the one that called in. I like to put a face to the voice. I've been here 26 years, 5 months. Long time, seen a lot, been through a lot. I love Hackensack. Sometimes I don't think Hackensack loves me. One of the things that I would like to do, I'd like to double down on what my union brother Kasim Gaines said about an apology. Because I felt that those teachers were blatantly pointed out to a point of humiliation, a point of intimidation. That's something that we just can't have here. And the boldness to do it at a board meeting, in front of everybody watching, in front of everybody listening, was just something that was unprecedented that I've seen here. So regardless of place of origin, regardless of native language, family relationship, political affiliation, or even the school district that you went to as a child, I think we all, especially our members, our HEA members, our NJA members, there has to be a level of respect and equity to each and every one of them, regardless. And in closing, I would like to welcome Mr. Harry Ruiz to Hackensack Public Schools. I had no idea that this man was going to be here. Harry Ruiz lived 7 houses down from me in Dover, New Jersey. We grew up in the 1970s together. His brother was one of my best friends. I spent many times playing Atari over at his house, eating his mother's cooking. I had no idea that he was coming. I just saw him here tonight. He's a good man. And as far as Dover people being in Hackensack, He's the second in the history of Hackensack. If he can average what I did, he'll be here for another 26 years and 5 months. So I would like to welcome you to the family. Thank you for your time. I just wanted to put a face to the voice, and I speak from the heart. And it all starts with treating people with equity. That's something that we talk about here. We got to start practicing what we preach. Thank you.
Do we have anybody online?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, my name is Patty Burleson. Please excuse my voice. Still trying to rally from the flu. So like Mr. Sanchez says, please keep those kids home if they're sick. I teach a Fairmount school, 3rd grade, and like Mrs. Delvecchio, I have concerns about our bilingual children. I have one student who does not read a word of English, and I just got one who does not speak a word of English. She cannot even write her name. And they were both advised to go to Parker School, but their parents are unable to get them there. We need to do better by these kids if we want them to succeed. We had busing. How was something so vital done away with, especially as the need is only going to increase? My other concern is I don't want to give my fingerprints to enter the building. I feel you're crossing a line of privacy and obtaining personal biometric data without informed consent, established need, or clear and established safeguards. It's not as if it's no big deal, as it opens up a range of personal risks that can't be retrieved should any such database be compromised. Only recently, we were sent to the frequently asked questions about the system and its supposed safeguards. This policy should be paused, thought through, as there are other more appropriate ways to accomplish the same outcome. Money and effort should be better spent on this could be better spent than on this increasing surveillance and micromanagement. You got our fingerprints and vetted us when we were hired. This is not about safety, it's about attendance. If there is truly a problem with staff improperly signing in, those concerns should be addressed with them rather than collecting everyone's fingerprints or biodata without consent. Once we swipe our ID at the door, honestly, we should be logged in. We've already entered the building. To go to a second location to then give prints is superfluous. I understand schools are having long lines waiting to log in now. We feel disrespected when you go to such lengths to show us that you don't trust us. Thank you.
We have 6 online.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear us?
Hello, Anthony Ziza. I am Vice President of the Hackensack Education Association, and I am a parent of a student at Parker School and a parent of another student who will one day be a student at Parker School. I'm calling today to reiterate some of the things that both Cassine and Donna have said about teacher retention. And I think both as a, vice president of the HEA and as a parent, this is something that should be of extreme concern to the board and to fellow parents here. There's something to be said about institutional memory, about staff that has been in this district for many years. And one of the things we've seen over the past couple of months is the slow trickle of teachers away from Hackensack. And again, as Donna and Cassine have pointed out, these are not people who are leaving teaching. They're people who are leaving Hackensack. They're choosing, as Donna pointed out, in some cases to take lower paying jobs in other districts rather than to continue here. It would be easy to say these are people who, don't have dedication to the district, but the reality is they do. In fact, many of the people leaving are alumni. They're people who went through the Hackensack school system. They're people who, have bled blue and gold their entire lives, and they've reached a breaking point where they can no longer, be here. And that should be of great concern, and it should be the canary in the coal mine for this district. I will use as an example the Hackensack High School math department. We've lost about 4 people to other districts just in the past 4 months. We've only been in session for 4 months. Again, these are mid-career teachers. These are not newbies. These are not people who are just retiring. These are people who are choosing to leave this district that many of them love because they grew up in it. And you can't replace that kind of institutional memory. And we've had meetings with them. We've talked to them. We know why they're leaving. They are leaving, as has been said, they don't feel respected. They don't feel that this is a situation that they can tolerate anymore. And I think that it's imperative for us to work together, the Hackensack Education Association and the Board of Education, because we're all stakeholders in this. And I will say, as a parent, as somebody whose children will be one day going through all of the schools here, whose child is a special education student, one of the areas where we're already hearing rumblings of people who are reaching their breaking point, reaching their tolerance. This is something that we should take as a crisis, an immediate crisis to be dealt with. And I really encourage you to reach out to the other stakeholders, and it's time to set up some sort of retention committee to work on this extremely critical problem. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom Terzano. I'm the HEA's Health and Safety Coordinator, a teacher at the Hackensack High School. I'm waiting to see if my time is starting. There we go. All right. So I think what you've been listening to all night is very concerning for the entire community. The fact that we are, losing individuals in teaching positions and other positions as well creates an incredible staffing crisis, which ends up jeopardizing just about everybody who ends up stepping foot in the buildings. We have essentially a very weakened state of things. We don't have certified staff or certificated staff in front of the classes in a lot of instances. We don't have people to monitor students in a classroom to provide them with the education which has long-lasting impacts and effects. We don't have bodies in the hallways attempting to basically move students along and directing students where they need to go. We have some of our most vulnerable members in the district without people to care for them or to nurture them, to educate them and prepare them for things that are down the line. You've heard that we've had learning loss, and it's not a COVID thing anymore. It's because of staffing concerns. You've heard of issues with cleanliness and sanitization. That's a direct result of staffing concerns. We are largely understaffed as a district. And I know that the refrain is that we're trying to do the best that we can. At some point, we have to look at ourselves and say the best that we can is not getting the job done. We need to have people in those positions as soon as possible. There has to be some kind of public and observable effort, something that is transparent, something where we can see the action in place to not fill supervisory positions, but rather the positions that help these students, make it through the day in a safe and secure manner. So as we end up listening to the public concerns and concerns of many teachers and concerns of many of the stakeholders in our community, we have to place an incredible emphasis on making sure that there are certificated bodies in the building, people qualified to do the job, so that everybody can kind of make it through the day solid. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is my name is Stephanie Shaw. I've taught at Hackensack High School for 23 years in the English department. So there's a couple of things that I want to speak about. I think one of the most disheartening things as of late is the idea of buying new equipment to track the teachers. I was recently sitting in a PD in the library. They closed the library for this PD, and they were talking about how do we get kids to read? And I said we could put books in these kids' hands, but we don't have the money for that. We don't have the money to buy classroom libraries for the students. We don't have money for, more band members or, better programs, but we have the money to fingerprint teachers. And then you wonder why teachers are leaving the district. We are demoralized. It's embarrassing. I tell my friends who have, degrees in different jobs, and they're like, wait, you're going to get fingerprinted walking into the building? And how embarrassing is that? As a person with multiple master's degrees, I'm in charge of hundreds of students a day, and I have to fingerprint to walk into a building. You don't trust me that much? And the idea that you're taking this money away from students so that you can track us. It really is, it's embarrassing. It's not putting the children first, and it's not for anybody's safety, because people walk in and outside the high school all the time. There's no safety going on. So it's really something that you should think about. Where are we putting the money? Why don't we trust the teachers? How come we're not better serving our students? And these are the things that you really should be thinking about and everything. So that's just essentially what I want to say. Thank you for your time, and take care.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, this is Antoinette Hazel resident of Hackensack, member of the HEA. I would like to address the board. I must make you aware of many of the complaints that currently exist. Because here we are again, are short staffed with teachers, instructional assistants. We are being pulled in various directions, making us less effective in our assignments. This is causing a major strain on us physically and emotionally, thus lowering the overall morale in the buildings. And as educators, if our professional obligation is to help students, we are not really effective in anything this year. Additionally, the continuous miscommunication and sudden changes in schedules and unfair is only making situations worse. And when we saying short staff, I know of plenty of teachers, not at Hillers, other places. There has been teachers that have been pulled for the last 3 weeks every single day. So how are these teachers are supposed to their special education teachers go through and make sure these children are meeting these children needs. Also, with COVID and flu and RSV rising, and we're being pulled in all different directions in every classroom, you don't think that we are going to be sick as well. So we need to think about hiring subs again or um, making the I'm sorry, or even um, bringing in subs. I know we have long-term subs, but we need to have some type of substitutes because it's not fair to the people that are being pulled in every direction, especially the special education teachers, the resource room teachers, social workers, everyone. So we need to think about that, especially with all of everything that's going around. Thank you and have a good night.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Shauna Shortridge. I'm a resident of Hackensack. I just want to thank Mr. Burak. I want to give Mr. Burak a shout out for every game that we've been to. He has been, I believe he's a custodian at the high school. He's been the only custodian there cleaning up after us, after the games. He has been very pivotal in making sure the ice machines are full. And oftentimes we ask him, or my husband tries to help him, he's the only one there. And he says that's because no one else wants to take on the responsibility of working overtime, even with the extra money, because the custodians are tired. I want to give a special shout out to the custodians at Fairmont, and I know the custodians at Parker work extremely hard as well. There are times that I have to go to the restroom, and Mr. Hunter is kind enough to stand at the door while he's taking out the garbage just so I could run to the restroom. I'm kindly asking that we look into the air ventilation system in our schools. Too many kids are getting sick, and the teachers as well. And as you can tell, I'm also under the weather. A former parent bought a air purifier for my classroom last year, and that's something I've been using, but it's just not helping. I had 4 students out today with the flu, and it's only a matter of time before the entire class gets sick. So I'm just asking that we keep the custodians in mind as well when we're staffing. They're tired, they're overworked. There are about 4 of them. I see 2 of them in the mornings at Fairmont and 2 in the evenings. It's a lot of classrooms to clean, bathrooms. It's a lot to maintain. So we all wear many hats. You all wear many hats. Those of you who are sitting on the boards, you have other jobs that you're also taking care of. So just keep in mind the custodians as well. And again, just a shout out to Mr. Burak for his tireless efforts, being responsible not just for sweeping and wiping the table, but the tables but he's just there all the time at every game. I don't know if you ever see the stands. It's as messy as they come. I believe he's retiring soon. I don't know when, but it's said to give people their roses while they're around. So this is a special call for Mr. Burak. Thank you. Have a good night.
That's it, all right. Dr. Whiting.
Good evening. I sat there, my name is Joy Dorsey Whiting. I'm the principal of Hackensack Middle School, also a resident of Hackensack, 28 years as an educator and also a parent. I sat there contemplating if I was going to say anything because I have multiple perspectives. But I must say that although I can appreciate what the HEA is saying about what may not be right, there's also a lot of good that's happening. Our administrators, my colleagues, work tirelessly to make sure that our children get the best because they deserve the best. We don't often hear how hardworking our teachers are, going above and beyond, but also our principals. We are on the front line just as our teachers are. They're early, they're late, making home visits, calling homes. We understand that there is a deficit, but there is also a position of hope. And if as a district, as parents, as leaders, if we don't decide to look at this district from a hope perspective, we will have a problem. I stand before you as a parent of a child who graduated last year from this high school, a parent of a child who's a sophomore, a resident. For 28 years I've been working here, and I do have institutional memory. The teachers aren't the only ones. Hackensack is a good place. It can be a great place, and it is. We are doing our very best. So in the midst of all the negativity, I could not sit any longer without saying that there is good happening. Our teachers are working hard, our administrators are working hard, our parents are coming out, we are doing activities and programming. Yes, there is room for improvement, but there is also a perspective of hope. And if we don't have hope, we'll be lost. And so I needed to say that. My colleagues, my colleague principals, Mrs. Whitaker at Nellie K. Parker, Mr. Chris Moran at Jackson Avenue School, Dr. Judy Soto at Hiller School, Mr. Jimmy Montesano at Hackensack High School, myself, who am I missing, Mrs. Whitaker? At Ms. Petrawall at ECDC. My colleagues deserve to be applauded and lauded for the work that they do. And so I'm standing here on behalf of them. Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? All right. Get myself back together. So that's the end of public comments. Thank you all. So let's approve our minutes. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education approves the regular minutes and closed session minutes of November 21st, 2022 as submitted. Can I have a motion? I move. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Carroll seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That passes, thank you. So we'll move into our resolutions. Mr. Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the approval of the following personnel actions, 8.1, A through X, upon the recommendation of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman made a motion. Can I have a second? Mr. Oates, thank you. A roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodman?
Yes.
Ms. Maury?
Yes.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
Lance Powell will be voting via telephone. Mr. Powell? Mr. Powell? Mr. Powell votes yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Somerville?
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We have no first or second readings in policy, so there's nothing there tonight. Moving on to curriculum, Ms. Mari.
Yes, thank you and good evening. So for curriculum, we have a couple items here that I would like to highlight. So for C6, the Hackensack High School students are going to participate in the Capitol Hill Challenge and the stock market game starting on January 30th, 2023. It's a partnership between the Hackensack Public Schools and the Securities Industry and Financial Market Association. Students will learn about the global capital markets and the importance of long-term saving and investing. For C7, it is the approval of participation agreement and memorandum of understanding from Drew University to work collaboratively on diversity, equity, and inclusion with the Hackensack High School Black Student Union and Latin American Student Association. Just a quick recap of that program. The students will meet for community projects once per week on Thursdays from 4 to 6, beginning in late January through April, early May. Participating students will receive vital training and experience in DEI and conflict transformation, along with a certificate of completion from Drew University. There will be a field trip to New York City and DC. There will also be possible consideration for high school students to receive college credit. For C8, it is the approval of job shadowing and work-based learning experiences within the surrounding communities for pupils classified as eligible for special education and related services. Certain locations like IKEA, Walgreens, Aviation Institute of Maintenance, and Starbucks, and there's more. For C15, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority and Jackson Avenue School are to participate in the Child Hunger Initiative Power Pack program. 30 students will be supplied with meals, snacks, free of charge for students enrolled at the school over the weekends and or extended breaks. Each week, a bag with non-perishable foods items will be delivered to the school containing food for 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 snacks, and a can of vegetables and fruits. C19 is the approval of the updated LEA plan for a safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of service. I would like to bring forward for motion C1 to C21 for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Mari. She made that motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. A roll call, please.
Mr. Mendez is absent. Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodman?
Yes.
Ms. Maury?
Yes.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
Mr. Powell, voting remotely by phone?
He said yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Somerville?
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on, excuse me, on to finance and budget. Let me think who was. Finance and budget? Yeah. Chris, can you do that? Sure. Thank you.
I move upon the recommendation of the superintendent, resolutions D1 through D12.
All right.
I will second.
So Mr. Coleman moved and Mr. Rodriguez seconded.
Roll call. Mr. Mendez was absent. Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodman?
Yes.
Ms. Maury?
Yes.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
Mr. Powell, voting remotely via phone? Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Somerville?
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, moving on to buildings and grounds, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to bring forth items E1 through E7. And I'd like to highlight again, as Superintendent Sanchez mentioned earlier, E3, which is the improvement of the Hackensack High School auditorium renovation and the girls' locker room renovation. So I'd like to bring forth items E1 through E7.
All right. Oh, wait a second from Mr. Oates. And Mr. Carroll, you heard it.
Roll call. Mr. Mendezo is absent. Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodman?
Yes.
Ms. Maury?
Yes.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
Mr. Powell voting remotely via phone? Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Somerville?
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. And moving on to community relations.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Community relations, we met a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. This discussion, we recapped some of the previous meetings. We have talked about the communication gap between the schools and parents and the administrators. We had commented that we think that's getting better. It's an ongoing issue to make sure that we keep parents engaged. It seems like the people on the committee were satisfied with how it's happening this year so far. Again, that's an ongoing issue that we have to stay on top of, about making sure that parents are informed about everything that's going on and they know where to direct their attention if they have a need. But the main focus of discussion throughout the meeting was school safety, and particularly at the high school, with disruptive behavior and a certain number of students that always seem to be the ones that are, I guess you could say, getting in trouble or causing a lot of the problems. And discussion we just talked about what used to be here and creating like alternate programs where a student that wasn't meeting standards and may be having a lot of disciplinary issues with tardiness or just being disruptive as a whole, to reintroduce what we used to have. I think we used to call it the Bell, or the building where some kids would go to as an alternate program. But we're discussing about how we could bring that back, but yet also incorporating the restorative justice piece. So it's just not getting rid of all the bad kids out of the general population so we don't have to deal with them. It's also about restoring them and hopefully bringing them back to addressing their needs as well. It may not be the regular school day, it may be more trades, it may be more internships, but the discussion we were talking about was, again, how we used to have it here. Years ago, we stopped doing it. If we were to bring it back, what would it look like? How could we do it? Not just like a long-term detention, not just like getting rid of the problem kids so that we could focus on the good. Yeah, that's part of that, to correct their disruptive behaviors, but also restore them and bring them back, just so we're not getting rid of them together. So that was the basis of a lot of our discussion. Yeah, hopefully that's something we could revisit. We're going to talk about it again, kick it around. Also with that, the community relations is going to have a link on the board site with all the members. In there is also going to be a space for a Google form. So if you have any needs, questions, or you have any comments, it's another avenue to get in touch with somebody on the community relations. I will be the one to, I guess, answer it and direct you and help you out with any questions or concerns you have. But that was our meeting. And again, I want to thank everybody for the part of the community relations. And there's nothing to move forward. There's no motions to make. But I want to thank them for their input, and hopefully something can come of these discussions to, again, better this district moving forward. That's all I got with that.
Okay, there's nothing really to move on. I do want to just reiterate, it's in thinking about it, it is a space for kids that, and on all levels, that may not be in the right space to be included with their peers at that moment, but it is also not a dumping ground. And it is not a space to just be getting rid of kids that are hard. It is a place meant to have kids, and it may not be that they are appropriate for the peers. It may not be the safest place because for their peers to be around either at that moment. But what is being envisioned is a place for them to go, to get their education, but also to have that social and emotional health, but also that restorative justice piece, so that they can get back to their peers as quickly as possible. So those are all the pieces as that, you know, as it comes together. So thank you, Mr. Oates, for that.
So, Scott, just a question. Chris, what's the next steps? Like, is this making a motion to ask the superintendent to follow up? Like, what's the next, because you said.
This is, well, we could, do you have any, well, really, the purpose of the Community Relations Committee is to bring up issues like this.
No, but
The Community Relations Committee has no
No,
powers.
so
It's
that's
our
why
job.
that's why I'm asking here now.
Right,
So
right.
are we
So I was
the
gonna-
body
yeah.
to make a motion to ask the superintendent to please, you know, go back and look historically at what the program was, how the program was set up, you know, what the terms are, and then we can kind of sort of move forward and you can lay out a timeline and the plan.
I was gonna bring this up, a new business, I don't know if that was the right way to do that or not, but I was gonna bring up a new business that we do, direct the super. and the administration.
I think it can go in this section.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to say, like, there's Mr. Lane, there's Ms. Whitaker, Ms. Whiting, right? Those guys may have historical perspective on what the program was, right? How the program worked, how the program operated. So is it just, you invite them to one of your meetings, they can give input and feedback on what it should look like, what the structure should be, right? Because again, they're gonna be the architects of making sure that this works for the students once it's in place. So I'm sure somebody in 28 or 30 years should have some historical perspective to be able to give you guys feedback.
And so adding on top of the historical perspective, also reflecting on the values that we have set in place today with our anti-racism work and our restorative practices models. So adding all those pieces and then maybe reflecting on what we, you know, the program as it was in our history. So if you would like to make a motion, this would be the time.
I'll let you introduce.
I'll make a
it.
motion
Second.
that we look into establishing an alternate program and investigating and see what it would look like and how it would be, how it would function.
Asking the superintendent.
Asking the superintendent to investigate or propose what that would look like.
So we.
I second your motion.
Sound like a motion that we could work with?
Ms. Singh, does that sound like a motion that you can?
Can you repeat it so I can write it down and read it out, please?
I make a motion for the superintendent to explore, good word, an alternate program.
An alternate program?
Right.
To what?
Alternative education.
I mean, you can.
Alternative education program.
Alternative education program.
Okay, alternative education program.
I think you can probably leave it at that. Or do we need to go further? Understand, I mean.
That's all?
But it's alternative to what? And what is the objective? Right. Alternative to what in terms of what the objective is? I'm hearing safety is really important. We should just enumerate a little bit clearer.
Well, the motion is for Mr. Sanchez to go back and pull the information on Ira on what the program looked like before, right? Because we had the program in place. So we can go back, get the information from the participants that are here, right? That may have that historical perspective, and then be able to come back at the next board meeting and present exactly what we think the program is gonna look like, write out, you know, what the objective of the program is gonna be.
Okay,
And over the year.
Trustee Marlene, I've confirmed with the board attorney that this is enough for the language, so we can move forward with the motion.
Okay, so Mr. Oates made the motion, Ms. Somerville seconded the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with no?
I abstain. Ms. Maury, I abstain.
Pardon me? Ms. Maury abstained?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
And then, thank you. And, okay, so now moving on to old business. Anybody have any old business that they need to bring up? Okay, any new business anyone would like to bring up? All right, board comments. Let's start with Ms. Moore.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us on a very busy week, I'm sure, for many. I would like to thank the Hackensack High School Choir. They sang beautifully. Congratulations to all the girls in the STEM program. Keep reaching, continue on that journey. I hope it continues all the way into high school. I'm also looking forward to participating in the Nellie K. Parker Make a Gingerbread House, a multicultural holiday experience. I'm looking forward to that, to attending that this week. Congratulations to Mr. Allen on earning the New Jersey Exemplary Education Award, Educator Award. To Ira, it's been a pleasure getting to know you here on the board. You will be missed, and I really hope you continue to come to our meetings and still continue to be a voice for our students in Hackensack. To Miss Story, oh, Miss Story, I've known you forever. My mother still talks about you. You were her first, she calls it American teacher. And she says you were delightful. You were so helpful to many parents who were just like her, fresh, new to the country, not having many resources, and you helped her. And you still continue, like you said, over 41 years, still here. And we appreciate you and we value you, so you know that. And you know, she was my preschool teacher too. To the Hackensack Middle School, thank you for hosting the first award assembly since COVID had happened. I didn't get to attend, but my husband was there, took pictures, and I saw how beautiful and how lively it was. The students looked so excited, and they were a little shy to probably be there again in person. They didn't know what to expect. But thank you for bringing that back in person. I'd like to thank Ash for his student report. And, you know, I want to also thank all the educators for speaking out, advocating for each other, and expressing their concerns. I also want to acknowledge what Donna had said about it's the small things, right? A lot of people are not asking for much, especially during this time. We're just asking to be acknowledged, or just be a thought, right? So whether, like it was mentioned, a 5-minute earlier dismissal, whether it be a lunch, it's that appreciation, especially during these tough times. I've heard numerous deaths and just very sad, tragic stories, and we need to remind ourselves that when people leave here, they have families, they have personal obligations that they go to, where sometimes when you clock in, that's all you think about as the students. That's all they can think about, is just teaching. So let's just remind ourselves that, yes, like Ms. Whiting said, there is hope, and I firmly believe there is hope. There's a lot of good happening. But thank you for voicing, and thank you for speaking out, because we wouldn't know. Don't keep that inside. We wouldn't know what you're feeling unless if you speak about it. So I really hope, with all that being said, that we keep the positivity going. We start the new year off right. And I wish everyone a safe and healthy holiday season and break. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville.
Good evening, everyone. So Ash is not here. He's left, but Ash, good job. He said he didn't wear the hat out of disrespect, had a bad haircut. So he was kind of dealing with that. Told him I'd pay for the next one, right? And introduce him to my son's barber. So we'll see where it goes from there. Mr. Ruiz, welcome. The math teacher, I'm sorry, I missed the name in the announcement, forgot to write it down, but welcome to both of you. Hopefully you guys are bringing positivity to Hackensack. So again, thank you guys for coming on board and, you know, better things to come in 2023. Ms. Story, thank you. Can't thank you enough. Since I got on the board in January, you've been nothing but positive, right? A ray of sunshine. And it's always good to, like, you're the first person I look for when I kind of sort of come in. I want to see I'm not a candy eater, but I'm always curious to see what you have in the bag. Like maybe there's something in there that I can punch through to eat. So, you know, keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to your activities in 2023, right? But this is the least, honestly, this is the least we can do for you. So please enjoy it. And if you ever need anything, you know, we're always here to support you. So please let us know, right? Thank you very much. To all of the teachers and educators that came forth, you guys seem today like it's it's been really rough, right? And it's been really tough. And everybody looks like the struggle is real. I can't say that I 100% understand, right? You guys don't reporting to us. We just kind of get the feedback when you guys come to these meetings. But I'm asking you guys to please turn up, show up, right? Regardless of how difficult it seems sometimes. Show up, keep coming, because that's the only way we're going to get some change, and that's the only way we're going to get results, right? From you guys coming here, I know it's repetition. I know sometimes it's cumbersome. Sometimes you may feel like you're not being heard. We didn't hear you. We're not listening to you. And I know it is tiring to keep coming back to the microphone over and over and over and over every single month, repeating the same thing, right? We need transportation. We need backup. We need, we need help. We need assistance. But again, repetition is good. Reminders are good. It holds us accountable. It holds the district accountable. It's good checks and balances. So again, I'm asking you guys, please keep coming back to the mic, keep bringing it until you guys get the result that is needed, right? The action that should come from it. So I'm hoping for that. I am not a person to address the art of personal destruction. I don't believe in it. I don't champion it, and I don't promote it. But I am only going to answer one thing today because I do not like things that are said in mistruth. I much prefer for somebody to approach me, ask me a question, and get a response from me, right? Just tell me. We may not agree. I can agree to disagree with you. We may not see eye to eye, but I always respect the truth because at the end of the day, I give as good as I get. To approach the microphone and said that in order for me to storm out of a board meeting, it would mean that I would have to get off the stage in front of all of you and walk out of the building because this is a board meeting. We were here, I want to say maybe in September. We finished the meeting early and I left the room for the meeting to come in here to sit with the audience because we still had like 20 minutes to finish and we were just sitting in a room waiting. So if that's the incident that's being mentioned, that someone stormed out of a room in the meeting, I guess interpretation is from the person who's seeing it from that is their perspective. But this was an executive committee meeting. We were not in the public in front of anyone. So I am struggling really hard to figure out how that was somebody storming out of a meeting and where that conversation came from. I don't believe, again, in the art of personal destruction. I do not try to ruin other people's reputation, and I don't appreciate when something is said that is not true, right? Come to me and ask me a question if you have it, and bring me facts. Facts are your friends. And anytime you come to me and you say something, I will be more than happy to tell you the truth. Again, we don't always have to agree. We don't always have to see eye to eye. But there should be not, politics does not belong in a school board. We are an apolitical body. We are here as representatives of you guys, and we're here to do the best that we can for you guys and the students. It should never, ever be any sort of a political affiliation, political leaning for us to be sitting here to be having that conversation. So I am telling it from today, starting a new day, moving into 2023. If there is ever an issue or something that you do not appreciate, if you have a problem with something that I may have said or an action that I may have done that you think may in some ways have been disrespectful to you or to somebody else, please pull me aside. I am here, and say, I don't like it. I didn't appreciate it, and I'll be more than happy to address it with you. But I will never be a person to sit here and say something to you that is not true, or something that I do not firmly believe. I can always be corrected, and I can always have a different point of view than you, and I can be wrong, plain and simple. But I do appreciate if you step to me and tell me something instead of, again, doing the art of political debate. And in closing, Mr. Powell may be on the line and he can defend himself, but I am a little puzzled as to say that Mr. Powell has never attended a meeting, and then you say that Mr. Powell yelled at a meeting and was disrespectful. The two things are contraindicated to themselves. They do not go together. So again, when you step to a stage and you need to say something, please, guys, we have enough issues in Hackensack, right? We have enough stuff that we're dealing with. The struggle is real, and we're all sitting here day in and day out trying to do the best we can. Everybody is trying to do their best they can. And at the end of the day, that stuff, that petty stuff, that inconsequential stuff, nobody needs it. It has no place being here. So I will never call anybody out. If you come to me and you have something you want me to say it, like I said the last time, tell me something and I can ask the superintendent on your behalf to perform an action. But you come here and you give me an innuendo, you give me an inference, you give me something that just may be accusatory, I'm not presenting it to anybody, because I have no business ruining anybody's name or anybody's reputation just based on an accusation. And I would appreciate the same courtesy. So again, in closing, everybody, it's a really long day. You guys come out here, day in and day out whenever we have these meetings. I appreciate your point of view. I thank you guys for listening. You guys take care. Please be safe this holiday season. Everybody enjoy your evening. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Who's next? Mr. Coleman?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you again, Ms. Story, for supporting us and coming to these meetings, notwithstanding the candy that, I really shouldn't be eating, but I do. But you are a ray of sunshine whenever you show up, no matter how acrimonious these meetings may be. We love that you're here for us. To Ms. Parchment, once again, it was a very sobering presentation. I see that there's a lot of work to be done. It kind of hurts to see these numbers, and particularly the demographics that are struggling the most in our district. Sure. Particularly the demographics in our district. I'm trying, I don't want to lose my voice. I'm not sick, but I had a procedure today, so I'm losing my voice. But yeah, it's just when breaking down the demographics, it was very hurtful, very disheartening, and I hope that there's a brighter future in store for us and our students. Thank you, Dr. Whiting, for the presentation on the GEE program. I know Mikey and I's daughters were in it last year, and it's really an extraordinary program, and I'm glad that Hackensack is participating in it now. I know in the past it was just TNEC, so I'm glad that we're taking part in it now, and I look forward to a very bright future for our female students to get into STEM. And congratulations to Mr. Allen. I know he's not here. Ira, thank you for all your service. It is a service. This is a volunteer job. We take a beating for nothing, and you took yours for the 3 years, and I guess you're tapping out, but good luck to you. Chorus, wonderful job. I would just like to end with, I remember before Brian Stevenson wrote his book, Just Mercy, which should be required reading in our schools if it's not already. But I admired him before that, and I read his book before the movie came out. And in the book, he discusses several people that he also exonerated from a death sentence, along with Jamie Foxx. But when reading his book, you realize, this guy went to Harvard Law School. What's he doing? He could be out there making, goo gobs of money. If I went to Harvard Law School, I'd be out there making goo gobs of money. But he had a calling. He had something within him that he wanted to do good on this planet. He wanted to save people. He wanted to leave this planet in a better place than he found it. And I know I'm not necessarily built that way, but some people are. He had a calling. And our teachers, our administrators have a calling. You're doing this for all the right reasons. Every one of us can look back and identify more than one teacher that changed their life. I can think of several in my life that made me see things, see the world differently, changed my perspective on things, learn things that I never thought I wanted to know. And I hope, at least coming from me, that you have all my respect for the calling that you've answered and that you're continuing to answer. Ms. Whiting, you're one of my kids now. You'll have another one next year. Ms. Shortridge, again, my respects to Mr. Barack and all the people that work in the school, do the cleaning. It's much appreciated, but Ms. Shortridge is also one of my kids' teachers. And I am just very pleased with everything that I'm experiencing with the teachers in the school. Mr. Gaines, I hear you're amazing. I hope at one point, one of my kids will avail themselves of one of your classes. But if it's respect that you're looking for, you have it from me. And I'm pretty sure that you have it from this entire board. And I know that this teacher shortage is a national problem. 300,000 teachers and staff shortage throughout this country. We're not immune from that. But you're right, we have to do whatever we can to keep the good ones. You go to some tech company or pharmaceutical company, you go in their headquarters, it's ping pong tables and free espresso or what have you. But I know it's not going to happen here. But we have to do whatever we can to show our appreciation. Try to keep you here. Try to keep you happy. It's not only good for our kids, it's good for you, it's good for the community, it's good for everyone's property values to have a great school. So I commend you, and I look forward to all the good things that this next year is going to bring us. I know this meeting started off very positively. I know we had some bumpy roads, but this was one of those meetings that you look back and you're very happy to be a part of this community and part of the school district. There's a lot of good things happening, a lot of improvement yet to come, but I like the direction that we're heading in, and I look forward to a wonderful 2023. Thank you. Good night.
Mr. Oates. Powerful comments by my fellow trustees. I'm not going to go over everything they said because the powerful stuff, they nailed a lot of it, but you're right. I look over these notes of the public comments with everybody that spoke, and respect, teacher retention. Like, we have to acknowledge that and make the changes necessary. Knowledge minus action equals zero. We know this, but we have to act on it. That's our job as a board, to put the teachers in a position to succeed. Now, I always up here, a lot of times I'll say the number of students we have, 5,168. Those are our bosses. But our staff, I don't know the exact number of staff we have. About 1,000, 800, 900? I don't know. That's a problem. I should know. Because you are the people that we need to put in a position. We need to give you all the resources you ask for. Somehow, it can't be everything. Like Trustee Coleman said, the espresso machines and the ping pongs, we get it, that's hyperbole, I get it. But we do need to work harder and better to make you guys in a position to inspire a life of learning for our students. And if you're not getting the respect, that's troublesome. There is a teacher shortage, I get it, it's nationwide. But listen, almost like I always reference movies. I'm a lot of movies, like Zorro. Zorro's one of my favorite movies, Antonio Banderas. And he talks about the training circle. There's nothing outside the circle, there's nothing. And the circle gets smaller and smaller. Like that's Hackensack, man, that's us, that's our school district. That's what I care about. I don't care what they're doing in Morris County, I really don't care. I care about what's happening here with our staff and our students. We have to think outside the box to put the students in a position to succeed. That means put the staff in a position to succeed. Social, emotional, everything, mental, I get it. We look, Trustee Coleman referenced the presentation by Ms. Oates Parchment, and those numbers, they're very, very alarming, very sobering. We have to come up with something. We can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting better results. We can't. Maybe it starts with teacher respect. How about that? Maybe we start there. Think of something new. I really, like, again, what Trustee Coleman said, this is one of those meetings where I hope it's the old ripple effect. Throw a rock in a pond and watch it reverberate. This is a powerful meeting, not just from the chorus and the holidays and presentations, but this was a powerful meeting. And I hope we produce change, change comes from it. I took a lot of notes. I'm not going to hit on all of them. My hand's sore. It was a long night. But Ms. Story, real quick, you are a ray of sunshine. Thank you, not just for what you mean to us, but what you've done in this district for the past 40 plus years. Really appreciate everything. Trustee Goodman, it was a pleasure and an honor to be on this board with you for the past 2 years. I've learned a lot from you. Your presence, your grace, always. Thank you so much. I'll never forget you, brother. You're a friend for life. Quick shout outs. The band yesterday performed at the Jets game, or they did a phenomenal job. I was cold out there, but they did a great job. Shout out to them. Coach Brad Allen with the Exemplary Educator Award. I've learned a lot from him. I've coached with him numerous teams with the youth, 8U, 9U, 10U. We had some great times together, and I really appreciate it's coaches and teachers like that is why this place is special. So shout out to Mr. Allen. And also, I think there was another award given, a Governor's Educator Award at the middle school, Ms. Batassi, I think I saw on Twitter, one award. Every school has it, right? Every school, so I just saw Ms. Batassi, so shout out to the Governor Awards winners. Again, let's put them in a position to succeed. That's it, I'm re-going, learning loss, respect. Well, listen, like Dr. Whiting said, we got a lot of good stuff happening here. There's a lot of good stuff happening here. There's the buildings and everything's changing. We got a lot of construction progress, but that's just window dressing, man. If we don't get to the heart of making these students love learning and get better and prepare them for a life, then we got to rethink our strategy a little bit. There's going to be rough weather coming up. Everybody have great, happy holiday. If it's icy out, snowing out, stay off the roads, check your neighbors, feed your pets. Everybody love one another. Go Comets.
Check your fire alarms.
Thank you, Mr. Oates. Mr. Goodman. Change your fire alarm batteries.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for coming out here. Marlene made a really good point with respect to the fact that, and Trustee Oates just said the same thing, with 5,168 students, we should fill more seats at these meetings. The words that we heard tonight are very humbling. It's really important, especially the RESPECT. Everyone should always be kind. Everyone should always be respectful. We shouldn't ever have to be reminded of that. So that's a really important point that Mrs. West brought out. I think that's very, very important for us. Miss Platty and the chorus, they were amazing. They just started off the night so beautifully. I just love hearing all these fantastic voices, the harmonies, the dichotomy of the two different melodies that they were singing at the same time. They did a really, really great job. Dr. Whiting and Mrs. Coleman, thank you very much for what you have done with the girls. Amazing, you know, to be able to congratulate Mr. Bradley Allen. This is out of, there were only 180 New Jersey exemplary educators in the state. That's pretty significant for us. Mrs. Story, it goes without saying that you are indeed one very, very special person. I have a neighbor in my building that knows you very, very well for a long time. She's always spoken very highly of you, and I have the same respect and fascination of how amazing a person you are. So it's really, really wonderful that you do so much for all of us and the whole community. It's great to hear our students' reports, Ashraf Salem, and his enthusiasm is always wonderful. Mrs. Parchment, your report is very sobering. It obviously means we have a lot of work to do, although I do question the validity of the test, if the state did so poorly as well. And I think that needs to be looked into, because it's not that our numbers were that terrible. I mean, the numbers were terrible, but so were the state's numbers. So I question the validity of these tests if the numbers in the state were also really bad. Welcome, Mr. Ruiz and Ms. Pork. And once again, I appreciate the opportunity that I've had over the last 3 years. I wish everyone a wonderful, healthy holiday season. And I would like to make one comment with respect to Mr. Powell is still on the phone, so he's going to make some remarks after me. But I would like to make a comment about the remarks that Olga Victor, and I've not missed a board meeting except for when I was out with COVID. She made remarks saying that she had heard from people and insinuated or basically said that Mr. Powell has not been at any board meetings. If you miss 3 consecutive board meetings, you are not a board member anymore. You get kicked off. So it was very interesting that she made that statement that she had heard from people. All she has to do is look at the tapes and see all of our recordings. Mr. Powell has been at our meetings. So I was a little bit distressed by where she got her information. So other than that, I wish everyone a really wonderful holiday season. Be healthy, stay safe. And if I may, can I put Mr. Powell, Trustee Powell on? Okay. Trustee Powell, you're next. Mr. Powell.
Yeah, thank you, Trustee Goodman. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thanks to all. And I'll just piggyback on what you just said. I think I'm one of the few board members that barely missed any meeting. So thank you for really speaking up for me. I've been on the board. I'm the longest serving member on the board right now. And I've maybe 1 meeting I've missed for family reasons, but I've been to pretty much every board meeting. Not sure where that came from. That sounds very suspicious and malicious, but like you said, the record speaks for itself. I've been to pretty much, apart from maybe 1, I've been to pretty much all the board meetings. So thank you for standing up for me and thank you for making the correction. Thank you. I appreciate you as always, Mr. Goodman. okay? And thanks to everyone who participated and attended our board meeting tonight. Thank you for all the presentations, our teachers. Thank you to Ms. Whiting. Thank you to Ms. Parchment. Congrats to the chorus. To our student for giving a report. Thank you, Ms. Story. I'll use 2 words to describe you. You're simply wonderful. And I just want to thank you for everything. And just thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank our administrators, our tech crew, our custodians, our administrators, staff, everyone, our students and families. Without the students and families, we're nothing. So I just want to thank everyone for keeping our school district clicking. It's not easy, but thanks again. And I want to say thank you, a personal thank you for serving with Mr. Ira Goodman. I have a few words for you. You're a wonderful person, a superb individual. I've learned a lot from you. You're a true team player. A true team player. I'll emphasize that. You're a wonderful human being. I will miss you. I'm sure the Hackensack School District will miss you dearly. I will miss you dearly and sincerely. I do with all my heart. I do wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. I am quite sure you'll be successful in all you do, because whatever you touch turns to gold. I will learn from you, and some of the things I've learned from you, I will put it into practice and make myself a better board member and a better person, because I've truly learned a lot from you. I want to tell you this. You're leaving us, but you leave an empty spot in the community and in my heart. You are a brother to me. You're a brother to me. You're considered family. I just wanted you to know that. You're considered a part of my family, just for the type of individual that you are. And it was really an honor and a pleasure to serve with a wonderful human being like you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have a good one.
Thank you, Lance.
Thank you. And I just have a couple of words before I tell everyone, wishing you a happy holidays. That's it, you go off for the holidays. I want to tell everyone, just be grateful and thankful for making it through this difficult and challenging year and years that we've been through with COVID. We're here, so let's celebrate with our families. And I have something I just want to touch on, not just for our kids in the district, but for all of us in the world, especially in Hackensack. Mental health. I just want to touch on that for a minute. As we go off during the holidays, mental health is real. Mental health does not discriminate. And I'm speaking from my heart because I've had, friends that have been going through rough times. Never quit. Solid battles are real. It's like being in a crowded room, but you're feeling alone. It's like crying out. It's like crying out for help, but feeling maybe too embarrassed to reach out for help. I want to say to everyone today, please, let's try to help each other through these difficult and challenging times. Stop tearing down each other. Life is a journey. We're only passing through. We're not here to stay. And while we're here, let's leave a legacy behind of goodness and kindness and love. That's how we will be remembered, not for bravado, but for kindness and love and empathy that we show to each other. And I just want to close by saying, as you go through your holidays, some people are not as fortunate as us. Check on someone when you can. It's okay to not be okay. People are dying internally behind the scenes, and yet we're here fighting each other every day. Life is short, and like I said, it's just a journey. If you haven't told someone you love them, tell them now. Call them now. Text them tonight and tell them you love them. And just reach out to someone. If you can help someone through the holidays by giving to them and sharing and caring, please do. Because there's so many people that are hurting emotionally, physically, psychologically, physiologically, and mentally. Let's come together and help each other. And this is a time of giving and sharing and caring. And I just want to say, Ira, again, thank you for standing up for me. You're a true soldier. And to all the people of Hackensack, I'm here to serve. I've been serving for a long time, and I've always been at your meeting, and I'll continue to be at all the board meetings. And for whoever is spreading that, I will call on you to stop it. It's malicious, it's dangerous, it's not cool. And like Ira said, the record speaks for itself. I've always been here to serve you and serve our kids. And when I can't serve anymore, I will humbly walk away. But while I'm here, I will continue to work hard. And just the last thing, my schedule has changed during COVID. And I've told the president and all the board members over and over, I worked 11 to 7 before. It was okay for me to be at meetings late. My schedule is now 7 p to 7 a. That's the shift I work. That's my job. It pays my bills. It takes care of my family. And that's the shift I've been given to work. So I have to work around it to be on the board. And I try my best. So that's the reason why sometimes you may not see me around a lot, but I'm always there taking part and doing the best I can. Once again, to all my board members, I love you all. Thank you and be safe. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Have a good night and be safe. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Carroll.
Good evening. I'm gonna be brief. I have a lot of notes, but I'm gonna try to be brief. It's getting late. Ms. West, Mr. Gaines, Mr. Vecchio, all the other teachers that spoke tonight. We do hear you. We do listen. But apparently we have to do better. We need to bring morale back to you guys. And I personally do respect everything that you do. Mr. Vecchio, your dedication, I personally know, and I'm sure all the teachers in this district are dedicated to what they do. And I'm diehard Hackensack, born and raised, and I will do whatever I can to help you guys. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times when I come here, I don't know what's going on until you guys do speak. So I appreciate you for holding us accountable. And again, we gotta do better. High school, chorus, thanks for coming out. They did a great job. I try to get to every function I can. So I've been to a few concerts, winter concerts, and they all been pretty good. Actually, really good. Congratulations to Mr. Allen on his Exemplary Educator Award. Congratulations to the young ladies with the engineering STEM program. That was outstanding. And 5, that's a lot, so that's great, right? Am I right? That's great? Very good. Miss Story, front row, right in my face every month. Love it. We appreciate you. Thank you. My dentists appreciate you. And you're truly a pleasure. Let's go. Congratulations to our athletic director, Mr. Gordon Whiting, making the 50 most influential people in New Jersey, I believe. And Ira, only been here a year, but it's been a pleasure. Sorry to see you go, but you're still around. You're still around. I appreciate you. And everyone,
happy holidays, and be safe, and good night. Thank you.
I also have a lot of notes, but I'm really gonna try to keep it as brief as I can. I wanna just generally recognize everyone who was honored and congratulate them. I have a lot of notes as well, but I have 3 words that kept coming up: retention, respect, and fingerprinting. For some reason, I want to dig into that. But I do want to reiterate what some of the trustees here said, that, we do appreciate you guys coming up. Sometimes it's hard to hear the things that need to be fixed, but that's what we're here. And like, the trustees said before, we do respect you. I hate to lose educators, any educator, because it's a tough job. I want to shout out Mr. Gaines. He teaches an elective that's very early in the morning, and my daughter chose to take that elective, and she comes home to me every day talking about the debates and what she's learned, and how engaged everyone is in that class. And I would hate for any teacher to lose that passion, because we need more of that. Most of us here are parents with kids in the district. We get to hear the perspective of our children, and like the trustee said, you guys need to come so we can hear your perspective as well. I'm open to a retention kind of committee. I want to know why you guys are leaving. I want to dig into that as well. Welcome to the newly appointed staff, Ms. Park, Mr. Ruiz. Pleasure to have you guys. My ray of sunshine. First person I see when I come in here always makes me smile, and then prepares me for the rest of the night. So thank you. Trustee Goodman, I can't say enough. I admire your fairness, your grace, your positivity, always, no matter what. I mean, he was physically injured and just you could never tell, just remain positive and energized, and it's a pleasure to work with you. That's all I have. Well, one more thing, guys. There was a caller that said that we should give flowers to those while they're alive and here, and I gotta say that, tell the people that you love them often, because you don't know when they won't be here. Have a safe and happy holiday, and have a good night.
Thank you for sticking around. So I'll say, thank you to the chorus. They set the mood for the night for sure. Mr. Goodman, we started this journey together, and so I'm thankful for your positivity and your continued effort to, as we sat on different committees, to get people to be thankful for things as we moved through that journey together. So I thank you for your hard work. Congratulations to Mr. Allen. One thing I can say is, he's the 6th grade camp director. You couldn't pay me $1 million to take 6th graders into camp for a week. I think that's an unbelievable task and job that he does. Dr. Whiting, and we appreciate the Girls Exploring Engineering. That's such an amazing job. And then the young ladies that you presented us tonight were phenomenal young women. So thank you for that hard work. So the student performance data that we looked at, it was hard to look at, and to look at where our students are. But that doesn't mean that is where we will stay. It doesn't mean that you count us down and out. It means that we have some work to do. It means that we target certain areas to focus on harder. And it means that we figure out a plan of action and we attack it hard. We absolutely can do it. I will say for me personally, and Mr. Sanchez, hey, Ira, will you scoot your head? I just gotta be able to see Mr. Sanchez. Sorry, buddy. One, for me personally, one correlation that I did draw as I was looking at the data, so this is kind of a data-driven request. So we keep hearing about the ESL, ELL, the whole busing type situation, but then when you look at the data, even above our special education, the not passing numbers was that ELL group, right? So, like, that says something to me. So I just request that you look into maybe just looking at the numbers of students that we're even talking about at the respective schools to even see. Let's just start with the data and just see what are the numbers we're even talking about to see, even to look at things. So we can just get data from each school on how many kids we're talking about so that we can know what we're even looking at. I would appreciate that.
If I may, before you continue with your report or your comments, excuse me, I just wanted to add, obviously a decision was made a couple years back to have a continuum at the schools. That's why Parker School and Jackson Avenue School have the continuum K through 4 with the bilingual programs. There is ESL at Fairmont School and there is ESL at Hiller School. What I can say to you is, the busing situation, that's something that can be looked at, but that falls under courtesy busing. Once you offer courtesy busing to one, you have to offer courtesy busing to all. So it's not as simple as let's just get one bus, because that there's a slippery slope with offering courtesy busing. But what I will say is that obviously we will look at the data. We're going to, continue to dialogue with our teachers. I'd like to comment to Mr. Lane and Mr. Gaines. There was no commentary that was made that was to admonish teachers. The chain of command really is a policy that exists. It's for a reason. The teachers at the middle school, they know I went to see them the very next day, and I had the same discussion with them. I mean, listen, we're not here to punish anyone. We're receptive to it. My point in any of those comments was really just as simple as I have to be aware of a problem so I can take action of it. And the first I heard of any of it really was at that board meeting. And that was really my point. But I didn't say anything out of the norm of what our chain of command policies speak to, right? Go up the chain and we find out, and we're happy to sit down and talk. I sat down with the ladies at the middle school. I was happy to do so. I continue to be happy to do so moving forward. We're putting things in place. Things won't happen overnight. As you see, we hired a couple of teachers on this very agenda. We still have some shortages. We hired a bilingual math teacher. We hired a Spanish teacher, which is going to help, and we continue to try to secure those other positions. Quite frankly, the numbers are growing exponentially at the ESL bilingual programs in our schools, and it snuck up on us. But again, I didn't know about it until it was brought to my attention, but it was brought to my attention at a public venue. It wasn't brought to my attention going up to its command. I'm happy to talk to anybody that's met with me. I will talk to anybody and try to brainstorm of situations to try to make things better. So with that, and Mr. Gaines, Mr. Ishak was hired in the November meeting. It's in the B section. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So if the chain is broken somewhere, which might be the case,
it could
we need to figure out a way to fix that. I think I can sit with you and maybe we can sit with those teachers and figure out a better way when they have concerns. But I know, I've been talking about these emails, that they have not made it all the way up. If they have made it all the way up, that's not their fault. That's all I wanted to say.
And I don't disagree with that.
That's all I'm saying, is that the impression was given that they did not do their part, and they did their part. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if there's another way to communicate things up, so they actually reach you.
Sure.
Then we can explore that, and I'm happy to
Yeah, and I'll say this, that it could have been as easy as an email to me and say, listen, I've tried and I haven't gotten a response.
Last year, I was in March, Frank Campola from the Hackensack Middle School, reported to this board. She called in and she talked about the exact same things. I can email you the exact times, the same times.
Okay, and if you go back and look at board meetings, the comments I made at that meeting, at the previous meeting, are very similar to comments that I've made in the past about the point of when we come to board meetings, of course, we welcome all comments, but this board really has no authority to act on anything. All they can do is refer things back to me, and that's why we have a chain of command. But I thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Lane, thank you. All right, I was having a conversation with Mr. Gaines. I gave you a response, you gave me a response back. Your continuing public comment is now over. President Victor.
Okay. So if you'll just get numbers so that it'll help to think through it. Okay, y'all threw me off a little bit. Okay, let me get back to where I was. So that answers a couple of my things that I was gonna talk. Okay, so that deals with the busing, project manager. Okay, so the one other thing that you talked about was the public comments, the two sections. This is the last meeting, obviously, of this year. A new board member will roll on, and that's something that I think that we can, when the new board kind of formulates next year, that's something that we can bring up to have that conversation, to start that conversation back. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So again, like my board members were talking about, is this whole teacher retention situation. And I do, one of the things that I've talked about all year is bringing the right people to the table. And I think a mistake of many districts in this country is having the wrong people at the table. And when I say the wrong people, it's usually a central office personnel and or strictly a more of a homogeneous group of people at a certain level, as opposed to a very wide group of people at the table that are in the schools, that are specifically teaching a certain group or whatever. And so maybe a teacher retention group, and quite frankly, it may need to be a staff retention type group, because we have, there are lots of positions that that we're losing at times. But it is concerning because I know we hear about a teacher shortage, and that is very real, but teacher shortage does not equal teachers, wanting to get the heck out of Dodge. That's two very different things, because it is concerning when they are staying in education, they're just going to another district that's very near. Because we have a lot to offer here. So we have to figure that out. I want you to know, I hear the fingerprint stuff. I don't feel comfortable touching on that. I think that's something that I just want you to acknowledge that I hear it. I'm going to pass that off to Mr. Sanchez. This is a social cue. I hear it. So I want you to think about that and how you might need to deal with that. And then Ms. West, the other things that, I know that y'all meet Mr. Sanchez and the union, and however y'all do that. I request that y'all might bring up the other issues that she was talking about, past problems, Chromebooks, Hey Tutor, all the things that she said that y'all can address from that end. Ms. Story, you're the highlight of our board meetings. We thank you for challenging us when we need to be challenged, encouraging us when we need to be encouraged. Your calling as a teacher has extended to a calling in retirement, and we are thankful for you. And we look forward to next year. On a personal note, I thank you, board members, for allowing me to be the president for this year. This is my last meeting as the president, and I appreciate the time that you allowed me to be president. In January 2nd or 4th, whatever date it is, it's soon, will be time for elections, and we will see what happens then. But I'm thankful for the time that I did get to serve the community and the board and our students in this way. So Ira, I will let you make the motion to close the meeting this time.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Can I have a second? Mr. Oates, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, this is not part of the meeting. Miss Allen, I saw you in ShopRite. You sat there, our kids are best friends, and you failed to tell me that Maya was gonna be here today? Oh, we're gonna have a conversation. Please do not leave the building.